and then 3 or more become a Congress. And by God, I have had this Congress. For 10 years, King George and his parliament have gulled, cullied, and diddled these colonies with their illegal taxes. Stamp Acts, Townshend Acts, Sugar Acts, Tea Acts. And when we dared stand up like men, they stopped our trade, seized our ships, blockaded our ports, burned our towns, and spilled our blood. And still this Congress refuses to grant any of my proposals on independence, even so much as the courtesy of open debate. Good God, what in hell are they waiting for?
Sit down, sit down, we're gonna sing down, sit down, sit down, sit down, we're gonna sing down, sit down, open up a window. It's fine to do this, have mercy on me. It's not never good down beyond, open up a window.
I say vote yes, for independence.
Open up a window.
I say vote yes,
Down, down.
vote for independence. Vote yes, vote yes. Good God! Consider yourselves fortunate that you have John Adams to abuse, but no sane man would tolerate it. I say vote yes, vote yes, vote for independence. I say vote yes, vote for independence.
Will someone shut that man up?
Never! Never! Dear God, for one solid year they have been sitting. For 1 year, doing nothing. I do believe you've put the curse on North America. A curse that we here now rehearse in Philadelphia. A second flood, a simple famine, plagues of locusts everywhere, or a cataclysmic earthquake I'd accept with some despair. But no, you sent us Congress. Good God, sir, was that fair? I say this with humility in Philadelphia, where your responsibility in Philadelphia. If you don't want to see us hang from some far-off British hill, you don't want the voice of independency forever still, then God, sir, get me to it, for Congress never will. You see, we piddle, twiddle, and resolve, not one damn thing to be solved. Piddle, twiddle, and resolve, nothing's ever solved in foul, fuming, heated, boggy, filthy Philadelphia. Oh, shut up.
I now call the Congress' attention to the petition of one Mr. Melcar Mensch. He claims $20 compensation for his dead mule. It seems the animal was employed transporting luggage in the service of the Congress.
The question, then, appears to be one of occasion. For if the beast died not while carrying, but after being unloaded, then surely he expired on his own time.
Dear God. They may sit here for years and years in Philadelphia. These indecisive grenadiers of Philadelphia. They can't decide on what is right or wrong, or what is good or bad. I'm convinced the only purpose that this Congress
you like to tell us how saltpeter is made?
By treating potassium chloride with sodium nitrate, of course.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Well, will it be done then?
I'm afraid we have a more urgent problem, John.
More urgent, madam?
There's one thing every woman's missed in Massachusetts Bay. Don't smirk at me, you egotist pay. Read to what I said, and we cannot find within. Don't you know there's a war on stage trade? You win. Well, we will not make saltpeter until you send us pins.
Pins, madam. Saltpeter.
Pins.
Saltpeter.
Pins.
Saltpeter.
Pins.
Saltpeter.
Pins.
Peter.
Pins.
Peter. 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 Done, madam. Done.
Hurry home, John.
As soon as I may.
Don't stop writing. That's all I have.
Every day, my dearest friend.
Till then.
Till then, I am as I ever was and ever shall be. Franklin! 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 Where in God's name were you when I needed you?
Right here, John.
It stinks.
Well, as ever, the soul intact.
Well, the man's no Botticelli.
And the subject's no Venus.
Franklin, you heard what I suffered in there?
Heard? Of course I heard, John, along with the rest of Philadelphia. Lord, but your voice is piercing.
I wish to heaven my arguments were. By God, Franklin, when will they make up their minds? With one hand, they can raise an army, dispatch one of their own to lead it, and cheer the news from Bunker's Hill. While with the other, they wave the olive branch, begging the king for a happy and permanent reconciliation. Why, damn it, that George declares a rebellion. Why in bloody hell can't they?
Really, John? You make it sound as if independence were the rule. It's never been done before. No colony has ever broken from its parent stem in the history of the world.
Damn it, Franklin, you make us sound treasonous.
Do I?
Yes.
Treason? Treason is a charge invented by the winners as an excuse for hanging the losers.
I have more to do than to stand here listening to you quote yourself.
Oh, John, that was a new one.
Damn it, Franklin, we're at war!
But to defend ourselves, nothing more. We expressed our displeasure with the English and they moved against us. We in turn have resisted. Well, now our fellow congressmen want to effect a reconciliation before it becomes a war.
Reconciliation, my ass. The people want independence.
The people have read Mr. Payne's common sense. I doubt the Congress has. Oh, John, why don't you give it up? No one listens to you. You're out not.
Promoting independence.
Evidently, they cannot help connecting the two.
What are you getting at?
Let someone else in Congress propose.
Never! Why? Who did you have in mind?
Oh, no one really. I haven't given it a lot of thought.
You sent for me, Benjamin?
Never!
Hello, John.
Richard.
Richard, John and I need some advice.
Well, it's mine to give. It's yours. You know that, Benjamin.
Thank you, Richard. Now, it seems the cause that we support here in Congress has come to a complete standstill. Why do you suppose that is?
Simple. Johnny hears of doctors in this life.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Well, now, what should we do about it?
Get someone else in Congress to propose.
Richard, that was brilliant. Wasn't that brilliant, John?
Brilliant.
off his trapping long enough to refresh the missus, and then straight to the Madden, Virginia. Gave us our glorious commander-in-chief, George Washington. Well, now give the Congress proposal on independence. And when Virginia proposed, the South is bound to follow. When the South goes, the middle colonies go. Gentlemen, a salute to the mother of American independence, Virginia.
Incredible. We're free and he hasn't even left yet. What makes you so sure that you can do it?
Ha! My name is Richard Henry Lee. Virginia is my home. My name is Richard Henry Lee. Virginia is my home.
after 10. I was told the Congress convenes at 10.
Oh, they'll be wondering at any time now, sir. With old Grapeling Guts leading the pack.
Old who?
Grapeling Guts.
There!
Grapeling Guts.
Mr. Hopkins, fetch me a mug of rum.
Mr. Hopkins, you'll be pleased to meet Dr. Lyman Hall.
I don't need a doctor, damn it, but I need a mug of rum.
Good delegate from Georgia.
Oh, well, I just say so. I'm Stephen Hopkins, old delegate from Rhode Island. I'm in there. 2 mugs of rum.
Yes,
I fear it's a little early today. Nonsense. It's a medicinal fact that rum gets a man's heart started in the morning. I'm surprised you didn't know it. And speaking as the oldest man in Congress.
Ben Franklin is older by almost a year. No, okay.
So tell me, Dr. Hall, where does Georgia stand on the question of independence?
With South Carolina, of course.
Oh, good morning, Nettie. Shake the hand of Dr. Lyman Hall from Georgia. Doctor, this here is Mr. Edward Rutledge from whichever Carolina he says he's from. God knows I can't keep him straight.
A pleasure, Dr. Hall.
Your servant, Mr. Rutledge. Well, you meant the long and the short of it now, Doctor. Why, Nettie here is only 26. He's the youngest of us all.
Except for Ben Franklin.
A McNair!
Yes, you're wrong, sir.
Well, where'd you go for it, man? Did you make up?
Dr. Hall, where does Georgia stand on the question of independence at the present time?
I am here without instructions, able to vote my personal convictions.
And they are.
Personal.
Dr. Hall, the Deep South speaks with one voice. It is traditional. Even more, it is historical. Ah, yes.
Each played what they... You know, I can't follow none of your damn Finch.
Latin, Colonel McKean, a tribute to the eternal peace and harmony of the Delaware delegation.
What are you saying, man? You know perfectly well. Neither Ronnie and I can stand this little what?
Gentlemen, this is Dr. Lyman Hall of Georgia. Caesar Rodney, George Reed, and Colonel Thomas McKean.
Where do you stand on independence, sir?
To South Carolina, it seems.
I'll leave the doctor in your excellent company, sir.
Tell me, sir, are you a doctor of theology or medicine?
Well, Mr. Rodney, which one could be of service?
Oh, the doctor first. We can see to the other one later.
I'll call it convenient, sir.
I trust, Caesar, that when you are through converting this poor fellow to independency, that you'll give the opposition a fair crack at him.
Oh, you're too late, John. Once I've got to may stay God. Dr. Lyman Hall, Georgia, John Dayton, Pennsylvania.
An honor, sir.
An honor.
Oh, excuse me, Judge Wilson, but how do you expect anyone to ever notice you if you insist on standing in Mr. Dickinson's shadow? Judge Wilson, also Pennsylvania.
Sir. An honor, sir.
Out of my way, please. Good morning, all.
Good Lord. Do you have the honor to be Dr. Franklin?
Yes, I have that honor. Unfortunately, the gout accompanies the honor.
You're living too high again, ain't happy?
Oh, Stephen, I only wish that King George felt like my big toe all over.
McNair! Where are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fetch your pillow and 2 more mugs of rum.
Yes, sir. Good morning, John.
Well, Franklin, where's that idiot Leeds? He returned yet? I don't see him.
John, softly, your voice is hurting my voice.
One more day, Franklin. That's how long I'll remain silent, not a minute longer. That strutting popinjay was so damn sure of himself. He's had time to bring back a dozen proposals by now. Sure.
Tell me, James, how do you explain the strange monumental quietude that Congress has been treated to these past 30 days? Has the old wind of independence finally blown itself out?
Well, yes.
For myself, I must admit that 30 days free of New England noise is more therapeutic than a month in the country. Don't you agree, James?
Yes.
Mr. Adams, pray look for your voice, sir. For it cannot be far, and God knows we need the entertainment in this Congress.
Congratulations, John. You just made your greatest contribution to American independence. You kept your flap shut.
One more day.
Gentlemen, the usual morning festivities concluded, I now call this Congress to order. Mr. Thompson.
1988 meeting. The Honorable John Hancock, Massachusetts Bay.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Mr. McNair, the stores of rum and other drinking spirits will hereby be closed to the colony of Rhode Island for a period of 3 days. Yes, sir.
John, you can't do that.
Sit down, Mr. Hopkins. You have abused the privilege. The chair takes this opportunity to welcome Dr. Lyman Hall of Georgia to this Congress and hopes that he will make the best of it. Come inside, dear. The secretary will now read the roll.
All members present with the following exception. Mr. Charles Carroll of Maryland, Mr. Samuel Adams of Massachusetts, Mr. Buzzin Burnett of Georgia, Mr. George Witt and Mr. Richard Henry Lee of Virginia, and the entire delegation of New Jersey.
I am concerned over the continued absence of 1/13 of this Congress. Where the hell is New Jersey?
Somewhere between New York and Pennsylvania.
Thank you very much. Dr. Franklin, have you heard anything? Your son resides there.
Son, sir? What son?
The Royal Governor of New Jersey, sir.
Well, as that title might imply, we're not in contact with each other at the present time.
Yes, very well. Weather report. It's Mr. Jefferson of Virginia. Mr. Jefferson. Present, sir. Mr. Jefferson, may we please hear about the weather as if it weren't already speaking for itself?
Degrees of temperature. Barometer is 30.07 inches of mercury. Wind is from the southwest for the rest of the day. And tonight I'm leaving for home.
What business?
Family business.
Give her a good one from me, young feller.
I will, sir.
From the Commander, Army of the United Colonies, in New York, dispatch number 1137.
Sweet
To
Jesus.
the Honorable Congress, John Hancock, President, dear sir. It is with great apprehension that I learned this day of the sailing from Halifax, Nova Scotia, of a considerable force of British troops in the company of foreign mercenaries and under the command of General Sir William Houc. There can be no doubt that their destination is New York, for to take and hold this city and the Hudson Valley beyond would serve to separate New England from the other colonies, permitting both sections to be crushed in turn. Sadly, I see no way of stopping them at the present time, as my army is absolutely falling apart. The military chest is totally exhausted. My commissary general has drained his credit to the last. My quartermaster has no food, no arms, no ammunition, and my troops are in a state of near mutiny. I pray God some relief arrives before the Armada, but I fear it will not. Your obedient, Chief Washington.
Mr. President,
Colonel McKee.
surely we managed to promote the most gloomiest man on this continent to the head of our troops. Those dispatches are the most depressing accumulation of disaster, doom, and despair in the entire annals of military history. And furthermore,
Please, Colonel McKee.
What?
It's too hot.
Yes, I suppose so.
General Washington will continue wording his dispatches as he sees fit. I'm sure that we all pray that he finds happier thoughts to
crowd that all political connections between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved.
Mr. President, I second that proposal.
Resolution has been moved and seconded. The chair will now entertain debate. Mr. Dickinson.
Mr. President, Pennsylvania moves, as always, that the question of independence be postponed indefinitely.
I second that motion.
Judge Wilson, in your eagerness to be loved, you seem to have forgotten that Pennsylvania cannot second its own motion.
Delaware seconds, Mr. President.
You would have it always up.
Gentlemen, please. The motion to postpone has been moved and seconded. Mr. Thompson.
On the motion to postpone indefinitely the resolution on independence or proceed with the debate, all those in favor of debate signify by saying yea. All those for postponement say nay. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire's for debate, says yea.
New Hampshire says yea. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, having borne the brunt of the King's tyranny, Massachusetts now and for all time says yea.
Massachusetts says yea. Rhode Island. Where's Mr. Hopkins?
Mr. Hopkins is out visiting the necessary.
Well, after what Rhode Island has consumed today, I can't say I'm surprised. We'll come back to it, Mr. Thompson.
Very well. Rhode Island passes. Connecticut.
While Connecticut has, till now, been against the proposal, our legislature has instructed me that in the event it is introduced by any colony outside of New England, Connecticut cannot any longer withhold its support. Connecticut says yea.
New York. Mr. Secretary, New York abstains courteously.
New York abstains.
Courteously.
New Jersey.
Absent, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, that's correct. New Jersey is absent. Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, for the 24th time, says nay.
Pennsylvania says nay. Delaware.
Delaware is always for independence, says yea.
Delaware says yea. Maryland.
Maryland would welcome independence if it were given, but is highly skeptical that it can be taken. Maryland says nay.
Maryland says nay. Virginia.
Virginia, the first column, says yea.
Virginia says yea. North Carolina.
North Carolina respectfully yields to South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Mr. President, although we in South Carolina have never seriously considered the question of independence, when a gentleman proposes it, attention must be paid. However, we in the deep South, unlike our friends in New England, have no cause for impatience at the present time. If at some future date it becomes the wish of all our sister colonies to effect a separation, we will not stand in the way. But for the time being, South Carolina will wait and watch. The vote is nay.
South Carolina says nay.
North Carolina.
Says nay. Yes, Mr. Hughes, I know. Georgia.
Georgia. Mr. Secretary, Georgia seems to be split down the middle on this issue. The people are against it, and I'm for it. I'm afraid I'm not yet certain whether representing the people means relying on their judgment or my own. So in all fairness, until I can figure it out, I'd better lean a little further aside. Georgia says nay.
Georgia says nay. Rhode Island. Second call, Rhode Island.
I'm coming. Hold your damn horses.
We're waiting on you, Mr. Hopkins.
Well, it won't kill you. You think this Continental Congress would have its own damn privy.
So
that was so dangerous it couldn't be talked about. Hell yes, I'm for debating anything Rhode Island says yay.
Mr. Hopkins are wrong.
What you said?
Get him the whole damn barrel if he wants.
Yes, sir.
The chair now declares this Congress a committee of the whole for the purpose of discussing Virginia's resolution on independence. Yes, Mr. Dickinson.
Well, now you've got your way at last, Mr. Adams. The matter may now be discussed. I must admit I am almost relieved. There's been a question I've been barely itching to ask. Why?
Why what?
Why independence, Mr. Adams?
The obvious reason that our continued association with Great Britain has grown intolerable.
To whom? To you? Then I suggest you sever your ties immediately. But please be kind enough to leave the rest of us where we are. For myself, I have no objection to being part of the greatest empire on earth, to enjoying its protection and sharing its benefits.
Benefits? What benefits? Crippling taxes, cruel repressions, abolished rights.
Is that all that England means to you, sir? Is that all the affection and pride you can muster for the nation that bore you? For the greatest, most civilized nation on the face of this earth? Would you have us forsake Hastings and Magna Carta, Strongbow and Lionhearted, Drake and Marlborough, Stuarts, Tudors, Plantagenets? For what? Tell me for what? For you? Some men are patriots like General Washington. Some men are anarchists like Mr. Paine. And some men are internationalists like Dr. Franklin. But you, sir, are merely an agitator, disturbing the peace, creating disorder, endangering the public welfare. And for what? Your petty little personal complaints. Your taxes are too high. Well, sir, so are mine. Come, Mr. Adams. If you have grievances, and I am sure you have, surely our present system must provide a gentler means of redressing them, short of revolution. That's what he wants. Nothing less will satisfy him. Violence, treason, rebellion. Now, Mr. Adams, are these the acts of an Englishman?
Not Englishmen, Dickinson, Americans.
No, they're Englishmen.
Mr. Dickinson, must you start banging? How is a man to sleep?
Forgive me, Dr. Franklin, but must you stop speaking? How is a man to stay awake? We'll all promise to be quiet, sir. I'm sure everyone prefers that you remain asleep.
I assure you, sir, that if I'm here myself called an Englishman, then I prefer that I remain asleep.
What's so bad about being called an Englishman? The English don't seem to mind.
Nor would I, sir, were I given the full rights of an Englishman. But to be called one without those rights, well, it's rather like calling an ox the bull. He's thankful for the honor, but he'd much rather have restored what's rightfully his.
And when did you first notice they were missing, sir? Fortunately, Dr. Franklin, the people of these colonies have a much higher regard for their mother country.
Higher, certainly, than she has for them. For never has such a valuable asset been so stupidly and recklessly wasted as this entire continent by the British Crown. Our industry has been discouraged. Our resources have been pillaged. And worst of all, our very characters have been stifled. We spawned a new race here, Mr. Dickinson. Rougher, simpler, more violent, more enterprising, less refined. We are a new nationality, and we require a new nation.
That may be your opinion, Dr. Franklin, but as I said, the people feel quite differently.
And what do you know about the people, Dickinson? You don't speak for the people, you represent only yourself. And that precious status quo you keep imploring the people to preserve for their own good is nothing more than the eternal preservation of your own property.
Mr. Adams, you have an annoying talent for making such delightful words as property sound quite distasteful. For heaven's sake, what is wrong with property? Perhaps you've forgotten that many of us first came to these shores in order to secure the rights of property, and that we hold those rights no less dear than the rights you speak of.
So safe, so fat, so comfortable in Pennsylvania.
And what is this independence of yours, except the private grievance of Massachusetts? And why is it always Boston that breaks the king's peace? My dear Congress, you must not pass this evil measure. It is the work of the devil. Leave it where it belongs, in New England.
Brother Dickinson, New England has been fighting the devil for more than 100 years.
And so far, Brother Sherman, the devil has been winning hands down. Why, at this very moment, he is sitting here in this Congress. Don't let him deceive you. This proposal is entirely his doing.
No, wait just
It
1 minute.
may bear Virginia's name, but it reeks of Adams, and more Adams. Look at it. Ready to lead this continent down the fiery path of total destruction.
Good God! Why can't you acknowledge what already exists? It's been more than a year since Concord and Lexington. Damn it, man, we're at war right now!
You may be at war, you Boston and John Adams, but you will never speak for Pennsylvania.
Norfolk, Delaware.
Mr. Reed, you speak for only 1/3 of Delaware.
The sensible third, Mr. Rodney.
Sit down, you little roach, before I knock you down.
Sit down, all 3 of you. Mr. McNair, please do something about these damn flies.
There, get me a rum.
Get the flies first.
A rum?
I've only got 2 hands.
Christ, it's hot in here.
Please, gentlemen, do go on.
You're creating the only breeze in Philadelphia.
Mr. Adams, perhaps you could clear something up for me. After we have achieved independence, who do you propose to govern in South Carolina?
The people, of course.
Which people, sir? The people of South Carolina or the people of Massachusetts?
Why don't you admit it, Nettie? You're not for independence, and you never will be.
Aye. You refuse to understand us, gentlemen. We desire independence, yes, for South Carolina. That is our country. And as such, we don't wish it to belong to anyone. Not to England and not to you.
We intend to be one nation, Rutledge.
A nation of sovereign states, Mr. Adams. United for our mutual protection, but separate for our individual pursuits. That is what we have understood it to be, and that is what we will support, as soon as everyone supports it.
There you have it, Mr. Adams. You must see that we need time to determine who we are and where we stand with regard to one another. For if we do not determine the nature of this beast before we set it free, it will surely end by consuming us all.
For once in your life, Wilson, take a chance. I say the time is now. It may never come again.
Your clock is fast, Mr. Adams. I say we're not yet ripe for independence.
Not right, hell, we're rotten for one of it.
Gentlemen, please. What in God's name is the infernal hurry? Why must this question be settled now?
What is wrong with now, Mr. Chase?
Well, General Washington's in the field. If he's defeated, as it now appears, we'll all be inviting to hang him. But if by some miracle he should win, then we can declare anything we damn please.
The sentiments of North Carolina precisely.
Has it ever occurred to either of you that an army needs something to fight for in order to win? A cause, a purpose, a flag of its own.
How can a nation of only 2 million souls defeat an empire of 10 million? Think about it. 10 million. How do we compensate for that shortage?
Oh, that's simple, Mr. Chase. We increase and multiply.
How's that?
We will more than compensate with spirit. I tell you, there's a spirit out there among the people that's sadly lacking in this Congress.
Yes, of course. Now it's spirit. Why didn't I think of that? No army, no navy, no arms, no ammunition, no treasury, and no friends, but bless our soul, spirit. Mr. Lee, Mr. Hopkins, Mr. Rodney, Colonel McKeon, Dr. Franklin, why have you joined this incendiary little man, this Boston radical, this agitator, this demagogue, this madman?
Are you calling me a madman, you fribble?
Easy, Joe.
Oh, you and your Pennsylvania proprietors, you cool, considerate men. You hang to the rear on the issue, so if we should go under, you'll still remain afloat.
Are you calling
Colonel McKean.
It's the concept.
He should go home.
Yes, the man should die in his own bed. John Adams.
I'm here, Caesar.
I leave you in divided Delaware. I'm sorry, John.
I'll take you home, Caesar. I'll be back within a week, John.
Mr. President, South Carolina calls the question.
Yes, what's that, Mr. Rutledge?
I said, Mr. President, South Carolina desires to end the debate and calls the question of independence.
The question has been called and seconded. Mr. Secretary, you will record the vote.
Franklin, do something. Think.
I'm thinking, John, but nothing's coming.
All in favor of the resolution on independence as proposed by the colony of Virginia, signify by saying...
Mr. Secretary, would you read the resolution again? I seem to have forgotten.
Resolved that these united colonies are, and of a right ought to
Beg your pardon? I'm the Reverend John Witherspoon, new delegate from New Jersey. Dr. Franklin?
Yes?
I regret to be the bearer of an unhappy tidings, but your son, the Royal Governor of Jersey, has been taken prisoner and been moved to the colony of Connecticut for safekeeping.
Is he unharmed, sir?
Last I heard, he was. Yes, sir.
Well, then why the long face? I understand Connecticut is an ideal location. Tell me, why did they arrest the little bastard?
New Jersey's legislature has to be old delegation as Congress.
Quickly, man. Where do you stand on independence?
Haven't I made that clear?
No!
No, I suppose I haven't. But that's the reason for the change. We've been instructed to vote for independence.
Mr. President! Massachusetts is now ready for the vote on independence and reminds the chair of its privilege to decide all votes that are deadlocked.
I won't forget, Mr. Adams. The chair would like to welcome the Reverend Witherspoon to Congress and appoint him congressional chaplain if he will accept the post.
Pleasure, sir.
Mr. Thompson, you may now proceed with the vote on independence.
all in favor of the resolution on independence
Mr. President, Pennsylvania moves that any vote in favor of independence must be unanimous.
What?
Judge Wilson.
Oh, yes, of course.
Delaware seconds.
No votes in the hands of unanimous citizen, and you know it.
Yes, but this one must be.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that no colony may be torn from its mother country without its own consent.
But it'll never be unanimous, damn it.
If you say so, Mr. Adams.
It has been proposed and seconded that the vote on independence must be unanimous in order to carry. All in favor signify by saying yea.
Yay.
6 colonies say yea. All opposed say nay.
Nay.
6 colonies say nay.
Mr. Secretary, New York abstains courteously.
Mr. Morris, why does New York constantly abstain? Why doesn't New York simply remain in New York? Very well, gentlemen, the vote is tied. The principles of independence have no greater supporter in Congress than its president. And that is why that I must go along with those who vote for the unanimous vote. Hear me out, John, hear me out. Don't you see that any state that votes against independence will be forced to fight on the side of England? We will be setting brother against brother. John, our new nation would carry as its emblem the mark of Cain. I can see no other way. I Either we must walk together, or together we must stay where we are. Very well, gentlemen. Mr. Thompson.
A unanimous vote being necessary to carry, if any be opposed to the resolution on independence as proposed by the colony of Virginia, signify by...
Mr. President!
For heaven's sake, let me get through it once.
Mr. President, I move for a postponement.
Postponement? Ha! I wish you the same luck I had with it.
Mr. Adams is right, we need a postponement.
On what grounds?
On what grounds?
Mr. President, how can this Congress vote on independence without some sort of written declaration defining it?
What sort of declaration, Mr. Adams?
You know, listing all the reasons for the separation and our goals and aims and so on and so forth. Ditto,
etc., etc.
etc., etc.
Etc. Yes, we know all those, of course, don't we?
Well, good God, yes, we know. But what about the rest of the world? Surely we require the aid of a powerful nation such as France or Spain, and surely such a declaration would be consistent with European delicacy.
Come now, Mr. Adams, you'll have to do better than that. Answer straight. What would be its purpose?
Well, yes. You see, what I had in mind, Mr. Chase, was something that
To place before mankind the common sense of the subject in words so plain and firm as to command their assent.
Mr. Jefferson, are you seriously suggesting that we publish a paper declaring to the entire world that an illegal rebellion is in fact a legal one?
Oh, Mr. Dickinson, I'm surprised at you. I thought you would know that rebellion in the first person, such as our rebellion, is always legal. It's only in the third person, their rebellion, where it's illegal. Mr. President, I second the motion to postpone the vote on independency for a period of time sufficient for writing a declaration.
Motion to postpone has been moved and seconded. Mr. Thompson.
All in favor of the motion to postpone, signify by saying yea.
Yay.
6 colonies say yea, all opposed say nay.
Yay.
6 colonies say nay.
Mr. Secretary, New York abstains courteously.
Mr. Morris, what in the hell goes on in New York?
I'm sorry, Mr. President, but the simple fact of the matter is we've never received explicit instructions from our legislature on anything.
Never? That's impossible.
Mr. President, have you ever been to a meeting of the New York delegation? They speak very fast and very loud, and no one ever listens to anyone else. The result of nothing ever gets done. I beg the Congress's pardon.
You have my sympathies, Mr. Morris. Very well, gentlemen. The vote again being tied, the chair decides in favor of postponement. So moved. A committee will now be formed to manage the declaration. Said document to be written, debated, and approved by the beginning of July, a period of 3 weeks hence, at which time, gentlemen, Virginia's resolution on independence will finally be voted. Is that clear? Very clear. Very well. Will the following individuals please serve on the committee? Dr. Franklin? Oh, yes. Mr. Adams?
Of course.
Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Mr. Livingston? And of course, Mr. Lee.
Excuse me, Mr. President, but I must be returned to the sovereign country of Virginia, where I've been asked to serve as governor. Therefore, I must decline. Respectfully.
Very well, Mr. Lee, you are excused.
Well, Jefferson. Mr. Adams, thank you. It's been 6 months since I've seen my wife.
And we solemnly declare that we shall preserve our liberties, being with one mind resolved to die free men rather than to live slaves. Thomas Jefferson, on the necessity of taking up arms, 1775, magnificent. Why, you write 10 times better than any man in Congress, including me. For a man of only 33 years, you possess a happy talent for composition and a remarkable felicity of expression. Now then, sir, will you be a patriot or a lover?
A lover.
No!
But I burned Mr. A.
So do I, Mr. J. You?
You too?
John.
Mr. Jefferson, dear Mr. Jefferson, I'm only 41, I still have my virility. And I can run through Cupid's grove with great agility. But life is more than combustibility. Now you'll write it, Mr. J.
And who will make me Mr. A?
I.
You?
Yes.
How?
By physical force, if necessary. It's your duty, damn it! Your duty!
Mr. Adams. Damn you, Mr. Adams. Your obnoxious and dislike that cannot be denied. Once again you stand between me and my lovely bride. Lovely bride. Oh, Mr. Adams,
Jefferson, I am finished, man. We've had a whole week. Is it done? Can I see it? There comes a time in the lives of men lover?
Virginia abstained.
Cheer up, Jefferson. Get out of the dumps. It'll come out right. I promise you. Now get back to work. Franklin, tell him to get to work.
He's asleep.
What? Wake up, Franklin.
Well, hello. Whose little girl are you? John? Who is she?
His wife. I hope.
Well, what makes you think so?
Well, because I sent her.
You what?
Well, it simply occurred to me that the sooner his problem was solved, the sooner our problem was solved.
Good thinking, John. Good thinking.
Madam, may I present myself? Mr. John Adams. Adams. John Adams. Oh, and Dr. Franklin. Inventor of the stove. Jefferson, would you kindly present me to your wife? She is your wife, isn't she?
Well, of course she is, John. Look how they fit together. Come along, John. Come along.
Come along where? There's work to be done.
Obviously.
Good God! You mean they're going to, in the middle of the afternoon?
Yes, John. Not everybody's from Boston.
Incredible.
Well, good night, John.
Have you eaten, Frank?
No, not yet.
I hear the turkey's fresh with a bunch of grapes.
John, I have a rendezvous. I take you along, but talking makes her nervous.
Incredible. Oh, Abigail. I'm very lonely, Abigail.
Are you, John? As long as you were sending for wives, why didn't you send for your own?
Oh, don't be unreasonable, Abigail.
Unreasonable. No, I'm unreasonable. You must add that to your list.
List? What list?
The catalog of my faults you included in your last letter.
They were fondly intended, madam.
That I play cards badly.
A compliment.
That my posture is crooked.
An endearment.
That I read, write, and think too much.
An irony.
That I am pigeon-toed.
Ah, well, there you have it, Abigail. I'm afraid you are pigeon-toed. Come to Philadelphia, Abigail. Please come.
Thank you, John. You know I want to. It's just not possible now. Children have cases.
Yes, so you wrote. Tom and Gladys.
Only now it's Lindsay and Charles. It appears the farm here in Braintree is failing, John. The chickens and geese have all died, and the apples have never survived the frost. How do you suppose she managed to get away?
The winters are softer in Virginia.
And they're women, John.
Fit for Virginians, madam. But pale, puny things beside New England girls.
I thank you for that.
How goes it for Abigail?
Not well, John. I don't know well. I live like a nun in a cloister, solitary, celibate. I hate it, and you don't.
I live like a monk in an abbey. Ditto, ditto, I hate it.
Write to me with sentimental effusion. Let me revel in romantic illusion.
Do you still smell vanilla and spring air?
sorry I'm late, John, but I was up till all hours. Have you been here long?
What? Oh, no.
What are you doing down here? I thought you'd be up there cracking the whip.
The shutters are still closed.
So they are. Well, as the French say.
Oh, please, Franklin, spare me your body mind first thing in the morning. Daily call?
Oh, certainly, a congressman dares anything. Go ahead.
Me?
Your voice is more piercing than mine, John.
Maybe we'd better come back later. What? Well, it's positively indecent.
Oh, John, they're young and in love.
Oh, not them, Franklin, us. Standing out here, waiting for them to, I mean, what will people think?
Don't worry, John. The history books will clean it up.
Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. I won't appear in the history books. Only you. Yes, you. Franklin did this. Franklin did that. Franklin did some other damn thing. Franklin smoked the ground and out sprang George Washington, fully grown and on his horse. Franklin then electrified him with his miraculous lightning rod, and the three of them, Franklin, Washington, and the horse, conducted the entire revolution all by themselves.
I like it. Look at her, John. Just look at her.
I am.
She's even more magnificent than I remember last night. But then we didn't see much of her front. Good morrow, madam.
Good morrow.
Is it the habit in Philadelphia for strangers to shout at ladies from the street?
No, madam, it's not.
And from gentlemen of your age, it's not only unseemly, it's unsightly.
Excuse me, madam, but we met last evening.
I spoke to no one last evening.
Indeed, you did not, madam, but nonetheless, we presented ourselves. This is Mr. John Adams, and I'm Dr. Benjamin Franklin, inventor of the stove.
Please, I know your names well, but you say you presented yourselves?
It's of no matter. Your thoughts were well taken elsewhere.
My husband isn't awake yet.
Yes, well, shall we start over? Would you join us, madam?
Oh, yes, of course.
No wonder he couldn't write. Who could think of independence married to her?
I beg you to forgive me. It is indeed an honor meeting the two greatest men in America.
The two greatest within earshot, anyway.
I'm not an idle flatterer, Dr. Franklin. My husband admires you. Both. Greatly.
Then we are justified, for we admire very much that which your husband admires.
Did you sleep well, madam? I mean, did you lie comfortably? Does that make you know what I mean?
Yes, John, we know what you mean. Please, madam, tell us about yourself. We had very little information. What is your first name?
Martha.
Oh, Martha. You could have at least have told us that. I'm afraid your husband doesn't say very much.
He's the most silent man in Congress. I've never heard him utter 3 sentences together.
Not everyone's a talker, John.
What's true, you know, Tom is not a talker. Oh, he never speaks his passion, he never speaks his views. Whereas other men speak volumes, the man I love is mute. In truth, I can't recall being moved by words at all. Even now.
Go on, madam.
Yes, pray go on. How did he win you? Martha, taking up the violin.
Very well, Madden. You have us playing the violin. What happens next? Oh, yes, it's not now. Dance? Playing the violin.
John, you can dance.
Not everyone's from Philadelphia, Franklin.
Loving bright, loving white, loving light.
Dear Miss Adams, I'm taking my wife back today. Kindly go away, your obedient Pete Jefferson. Incredible!
Come along, John. Perhaps I'm the one that should have written the Declaration after all. For at my age, there's very little doubt that the pen is mightier than the sword. For it's high, 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 diddle diddle. God bless the man who can fiddle.
And independence high, 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 high. Yeah, ta, 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 ta. Through eternity.
And what follows is a complete and up-to-date listing of the committees of this Congress, now sitting, about to sit, or having just sat. A committee formed to investigate a complaint made against the quality of yeast manufactured at Mr. Henry Pendleton's mill, designated as the Yeast Committee. A committee formed to consider the most effective means of dealing with spies, designated as the Spies Committee. A committee formed to think, perhaps to do, in any case to gather, to meet, to confer, to talk, and perhaps even to resolve that each rifle regiment be allowed at least one drum and one fife attached to each company, designated as the Drum and Fife Committee.
Look at it, Dr. Hall. Democracy. It's what Plato called a charming form of government, full of variety and disorder.
scoundrel, and a mean, dirty, stinking, sniveling, pimping, pocket-picking, price, double-A, no good son of a bitch. And you signed your name. What do you think?
I think I'll take a dozen right now, Stephen. A committee formed to enter all congressional correspondence, designated as the Congressional Correspondence Committee.
All right, Franklin, enough socializing. There's work to be done.
Good morning, John.
What? Oh, good morning, good morning. There. Now, let's get to it.
Let's get to what?
Why, unanimity, of course. Look at that little board. 6 days went over a little over a week.
A committee formed to consider the probable Hopkins money, designated as the Hopkins Money Committee.
Well, where do we start, John?
How about Delaware? It's a sad thing to find her on the wrong side after all this time. Is there any news on Rodney?
Well, McKeon's back.
Thomas.
A committee formed to study the causes of our military defeat in Canada, designated as the Military Defeat Committee.
Is there any news? How did you leave Caesar? Was he still alive?
Aye, but the journey to Dover was a fearful hard on him. He never complained, but I could see the poor man was suffering.
But you got him home safe.
I did, but I doubt he ever set foot at it again.
Then we should read split down the middle. Will he come over?
Aye, stubborn little snot.
Then work on it. Keep at him till you wear him down.
John, face facts with you. If it was just Lee standing in our way, it wouldn't be so bad. Look for yourself, man. Maryland, Pennsylvania, the entire South. It's impossible.
It's impossible if we stand around here complaining about it. To work, McKeon. One foot in front of the other.
Oh, John, I believe that I put that better. Never put off until tomorrow. That was
Franklin, shut up.
John, what good will it do? You don't take it, and you won't keep it. And you haven't heard the last of rubbish yet either.
Then don't worry about them. Your job is George Reed. Talk him deaf if you have to, but bring us back Delaware.
There's a simpler way. This will break the tie.
Okay, John, who's next?
A committee formed to keep secrets, designated as the Secrets Committee.
Pennsylvania and Maryland. I suggest you try to put your own house in order while I take a crack at old bacon for this. Look at him stuff himself. All right, Mr. Chase, when are you going to come to your senses?
Yes, Mr. Adams. Not while I'm eating.
Mr. Wilson, it's time for you to assert yourself. When you were on the bench, how in the hell did you make a decision?
All my decisions, sir, were based on legality and precedent. There is no legality here, and certainly no precedent.
It's a new idea, you clot. We'll be setting our own precedent.
No, Mr. McKeon. No, no, no!
Damn your eyes, Pete! You came into this world screaming no, and you're determined to leave it the same way, you little world!
Congress is waiting on you, Chase. America is waiting. The whole world is waiting. What is that?
Leave me alone, Mr. Adams. You're wasting your time. If I thought we could win this war, I'd be at the front of your ranks. But you must know that's impossible. You've heard General Washington's dispatches. His army is falling apart.
Oh, Washington's just exaggerating in order to arouse this torpid Congress into action. Why, as chairman of the War Committee, I can categorically tell you the Army has never been in better shape. Never have troops been more cheerful. Never have soldiers been more resolute. Never have training and discipline been more... Oh, good God.
May we have your ears, gentlemen? Mr. Thompson has a dispatch.
From the Commander, Army of the United Colonies, in New York, dispatch number 1157 to the Honorable Congress granting our President, dear sir. It is with the utmost despair that I must report to you the confusion and disorder that reign in every department.
Sweet Jesus.
The Continental soldier is like nothing ever seen in this or any other century. He is a misfit, ignorant of hygiene, destructive, disorderly, and totally disrespectful of rank. Only this last is understandable, as there is an incredible reek of stupidity amongst the officers. The situation is most desperate at the New Jersey training ground in New Brunswick, where every able-bodied corps in the colonies has decided. There are constant reports of drunkenness, desertion, foul language, naked bathing in the Raritan River, and an epidemic of the French disease. I have declared the town off limits to all military personnel with the exception of officers. I beseech the Congress to dispatch the War Committee to this place in the hopes of restoring some of the order and discipline we need to survive. You're being Chief Washington.
Ah! A man with a press hyena!
Well, Mr. Adams, you are chairman of the War Committee. You feel up to whoring, desertion, drinking, and New Brunswick.
There must be a mistake. After this New Brunswick.
You must tell her to keep up the good work. Come, Mr. Adams, you must see that it's hopeless. Let us recall General Washington and disband the Continental Army before we are overwhelmed.
Oh yes, the English would love that, now wouldn't they?
Why don't you ask them yourself? They ought to be here any minute.
When they hang you, Miss Adams, I do hope you will put in a good word for the rest of us.
Face facts, Mr. Adams. A handful of drunken and disorderly recruits against the entire British Army, the finest musketmen on earth. How can we win? How can we even hope to survive?
Answer me straight, Chase. If you thought that we could beat the Redcoats, would Maryland say yea to independence?
Well, I suppose.
No supposing, Chase. Would you or wouldn't you?
Very well, Mr. Adams. Yes, we would.
Then come with me to New Brunswick and see for yourself.
John! Oh, you're mad!
You heard what they said up there at the shambles.
I'm pushing you into it, Johnny.
What do you say, Chase?
But go ahead, Sam. Sounds lively as hell up there.
Very well. All right, Mr. Adams. Maybe it'll be John Adams who comes to his senses.
Mr. President, the War Committee will heed General Washington's request. The party consisting of myself, Mr. Chase, and Dr. Franklin will depart immediately.
Satisfactory with you, Dr. Franklin.
Wake up, Franklin, and go to New Brunswick.
Like hell I am. What for?
For the whore and the drinking, Pappy.
Why didn't you say so?
Chase, come on, move all that law. There's no time to waste. Left, right, left, right. You're out of step, man. Left, right, left, right. Get a move on.
Mr. President, South Carolina moves for adjournment.
Second the code.
Motion to adjourn has been moved and seconded. Any objections? So approved. Does Congress now stand adjourned? Yes, Mr. Dickinson.
Mr. Hancock, you're a man of property, one of us. Why don't you join us? Why do you persist in standing with John Adams? Good Lord, sir. You don't even like the man.
It's true, Mr. Dickinson. He annoys me quite a lot.
However, his ideas have merits of their own. That is why I choose to follow him.
But why? For personal glory? Be careful, for history shall brand him and his followers as traitors.
Traitors, Mr. Dickinson. Traitors to what? The British crown or the British half crown?
Oh,
Fortunately, Mr. Dickinson, there are not enough men of property in America to dictate policy.
perhaps not, but don't forget that most men with nothing would rather protect the possibility of becoming rich than face the reality of remaining poor, and that is why they will follow us.
Sweet Jesus. Don't be the death of me yet. Want another rum, General?
General? Lord, I ain't even a corporal.
Yeah, well, what's the Army now? Sit down, gentlemen. It's too damn hot to work. What's it like out there, General?
Probably no more than me.
Sitting in here? Sweet Jesus. This is the last place to find out what's going on. I'm going up. What are you talking about? You don't have to join up. You're in Congress.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, you sure don't see them running out to get killed, do you? But they sure are great ones for sending others, I'll tell you that.
Who sits here?
Caesar Rodney of Delaware. Where are you from, General?
Watertown.
Where is that?
Massachusetts.
Oh, well then, you'll be sitting over there. But be careful. There's something about that chair
home for supper. Their ma went down the hill looking for me. Miss Lowell, she found Timothy right off. But Miss Pickett, she had to search near half the night. Miss William gone and told her to bring him before he died.
Mama, hey mama, come looking for me. I'm here in the meadow by the red maple tree. Mama, hey mama, look sharp, here I be. Hey, hey, mama, look sharp. Them soldiers, they fired. Oh, did we run? But then we turned round and the battle began. Then I went under, Mama,
the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to their separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights.
Jefferson went back and we got Maryland. That is, we will, as soon as Chase gets through telling Maryland Assembly what we saw in New Brunswick.
Oh, he's at Annapolis right now, just describing this ragtag collection of provincial militiamen who couldn't shoot together, couldn't train together, couldn't march together. But when they saw a flock of ducks fly by, and it was their first meal in 3 days, sweet Jesus, could they shoot together? It was a slaughter.
Well, they're reading the Declaration.
They're doing what? How far have they gone?
To render the military independent of and superior to the civil power.
Independent of and superior to.
Well, there's nothing to fear. It's a masterpiece. I'm to be congratulated. You? Well, for making it right, of course.
Oh, yes. Of course.
It's a masterpiece, I say. They will cheer every word, every letter.
I wish I felt that way. I believe I can put it better. Now then attend, as friend to friend, our declaration committee. For us I see immortality in Philadelphia City. A farmer, a lawyer, and a saint. I've been gouty in the leg. You know, it's quite bizarre to think that here we are, playing midwives to an egg.
Egg? What egg?
America, the birth of a new nation.
If only we could be certain what type of bird it was going to be.
Oh, Tom here has a point. What kind of a bird should we choose to be the symbol of our new America?
The eagle.
A dove.
The turkey.
The eagle.
The dove.
The eagle.
The eagle. The turkey.
The eagle is a majestic bird.
Oh, the eagle is a thief and a scoundrel and a coward, and the symbol of more than 10 centuries of European mischief.
And the turkey?
A truly noble fellow. A Native American, a source of sustenance to our early settlers, and a brave fellow who would not flinch to attacking an entire regiment of Englishmen single-handedly. Therefore, the symbol of our new America will be
the eagle.
The eagle.
We're waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp of an eaglet being born. Waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator.
God knows the temperature's hot enough to hatch a stone. What about an egg?
We're waiting for the scratch, scratch, scratch of the tiny little bell. Waiting for the egg to hatch on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator. God knows the temperature's hot enough. That's a stone. Hatch an egg. That declaration will be a triumph. A triumph, I tell you. If I was ever sure of anything, I'm sure of that. A triumph. And if it isn't, we still have 4 days left to think of something else. The eagle's going to crack the shell of the egg that England laid. Yes, sure, we can tell on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator.
And just as Tom here has written, the shell may belong to Great Britain.
alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may have right to. And for the support of this declaration, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. The Congress has heard the report of the Declaration Committee. Are there any who wish to offer amendments, deletions, or alterations to the Declaration? Gentlemen, please. Now we open the window, please. Yes, sir. Colonel McKee, I believe I saw your hand first.
Tom, it's a body paper you win. But somewhere in it, you mentioned Scottish and foreign mercenaries sent to destroy us. Scottish, Tom.
It's in reference to a Highland regiment which stood against us at Boston.
Ah, it was more likely Germans wearing cloaks to disguise their being there. Tom, I ask you to remove the word and avoid giving offense to good people.
Mr. Jefferson?
Mr. President?
Mr. Witherspoon.
Mr. Jefferson, nowhere did he mention the Supreme Being. Certainly, this is an oversight. Without his help, how could we achieve a victory? I must humbly suggest the following is to the last sentence. Form alliance on the protection of divine providence.
Mr. Jefferson?
Mr. President!
Mr. Reed.
Mr. Jefferson, among your accusations against the king, you accuse him of depriving us of the benefit of trial by jury. This is untrue, sir. In Delaware, we have always had trial by jury.
In Massachusetts, we have not.
Oh, then I suggest that the words, in many cases, be added.
Jefferson?
In many cases, brilliant. I suppose anytime you see those three words, your puny little chest will swell with pride over your great historical contribution.
It's no miracle than your unprincipled whitewash that race of barbarians.
Colonel Reed. Colonel McKee.
That is enough.
Mr. Hopkins.
No objections, Johnny. I'm just trying to get a drink.
Should have known. But there, getting were wrong.
Mr. President?
Mr. Barton.
Mr. Jefferson, I beg you to remember, we still have friends in England. I see no purpose in antagonizing such lines as unfeeling brethren and enemies at war. Our quarrel is with the British king, Mr. Jefferson, not the British people.
Be sensible, Bartlett. Who those phrases in the entire paragraph becomes meaningless. And it so happens it's among the most poetic and stirring of any in the entire document. Just
We're
listen.
Congress, Mr. Adams, at a Liberty Society. I ask the entire paragraph be stricken.
Mr. Jefferson?
Good God, Jefferson. Don't you ever intend to speak up for your own work?
I had hoped it would speak for itself.
Mr. President?
Mr. Hancock,
What is it, Mr. McNair?
I'm not very fond of the United States of America as a name for a new country.
Oh,
I don't care what you're fond of. You are not a member of this Congress.
Right.
Mr. President? Mr. President?
Mr. Sherman.
Brother Jefferson, I noted at least two distinct and direct references to the British Parliament in your declaration. Do you think it is wise to alienate this august body in light of our contention that they've never had any direct authority over us anyway?
This is a revolution. Damn it, we're going to have to offend somebody.
Easy, John. Take it easy. You'll have a fit of apoplexy.
Have you heard what they're doing to it? Have you heard?
Of course I heard.
And so far, it's only been our friends. Can you imagine what our enemies will do?
The word parliament will be removed wherever it appears.
They won't be satisfied till they remove one of the F's from Jefferson's names.
Courage, John. This
Mr. President? Mr. President?
Mr. Jefferson, I have very little interest in your paper, as there is no doubt in my mind that you've all learned the last of it. I am curious about one thing, however. Why do you refer to King George as a tyrant?
Because he is a tyrant.
I remind you, Mr. Jefferson, that that tyrant
moment. I don't consent. The king is a tyrant whether we say so or not. We might as well say so.
But I already scratched it out.
Then scratch it back in, Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, put it back in. The king shall remain a tyrant.
Mr. Jefferson, nowhere do you mention deep-sea fishing rights. Now, we yours here.
Good God, fishing rights. How long is this killing go on? We've been here for 3 whole days. We've endured, by my count, 85 separate changes and a deletion of close to 400 words. Don't whip it and beat it till you break its spirit. I tell you that document there is a masterful expression of the American mind.
Well, now, if there are no more changes to the document, then I can assume that the report of the Declaration Committee has been...
Mr. President,
How's John?
I wonder if we could prevail upon Mr. Thompson to read again a small portion of Mr. Jefferson's declaration. The one beginning, he has waged cruel war.
Mr. Thompson.
He has affected, he has combined, he has advocated, plundered, he has betrayed, he has excited, he has incited, he has waged cruel war. Here it is. He has waged cruel war against human nature itself, in the persons of a distant people who never offended him, captivating them and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere. Determined to keep open a market where men should be bought and sold. He is a prostitute.
That will suffice, Mr. Thompson. Thank you. Mr. Jefferson, I can't quite make out what it is you're talking about. Slavery, Mr. Rebel. Ah, yes. You're referring to us as slaves of the king.
No, sir. I'm referring to our slaves. Black slaves.
Ah, black slaves. Well, why didn't you say so, sir? Were you trying to hide your meaning?
No, sir.
Just another literary license, then.
Did you like?
I don't like it all, Mr. Jefferson. To us in South Carolina, black slavery is our peculiar institution and a cherished way of life.
Nevertheless, we must abolish it. Nothing is more certainly written in the Book of Fate than that this people shall be free.
I am not concerned with the Book of Fate right now, sir. I am more concerned with what's written in your little paper over there.
That little paper over there is about freedom for Americans.
Oh, really? Mr. Adams is now calling our black slaves Americans. Oh, they now.
They are. They're people and they're here. If there's any other requirements, I've never heard of it.
They are here, yes. But they are not people, sir. They are property.
No, sir. They are people being treated as property. I tell you, the rights of human nature are deeply wounded by this infamous practice.
Then you see your own wounds, Mr. Jefferson, for you are a practitioner. Are you not?
I have already resolved to release my slaves.
Then I'm sorry. For you have also resolved the ruination of your personal economy.
Economy. Always economy. There's more to this than a filthy purse-string bondage. It's an offense against man and God.
It's a stinking business, Mr. Rutledge. A stinking business. Is it really, Mr. Hopkins? Then what's that I smell floating down from the north? Could it be the aroma of high hypocrisy? Well, who holds the other end of that filthy purse string, Mr. Adams, huh? Our northern brethren are feeling a bit tender towards our slaves. They don't keep slaves, no. But they're willing to be considerable carriers of slaves to others. They are willing to fall the shilling. Or haven't you heard, Mr. Adams? Think. Molasses to roam to slave. Oh, what a beautiful waltz. You dance with us
Mr. Hughes. Dr. Hall.
Don't worry, I'll be back.
Aye. The vote is down.
It's done. It's done. Adams, Franklin, it's done, and I have it. And the Maryland Assembly's approved it. When I told them about one of the greatest military engagements in history, and hits the flock of... What's wrong?
You'll have to forgive them, Mr. Chase. They have just suffered a slight setback. For what's profited a man to gain Maryland, yet lose the entire South. Matthew chapter 16, verse 26.
Super there? Yes, I know. Why? No. No. No problem. Yes, sir.
Well, what are you all sitting around for? Wasting time, precious time. Thomas, I want you to ride down into Delaware and fetch back Caesar on.
John, I know mine. It's 80 miles on horseback, and he's a dying man.
No, he's a patriot.
What will he do? The South's done us in.
And what if they change their minds? Can we get Delaware without Rodney?
God. Boston, watch we are.
Stephen, now I want you to
I'm
go.
going to the tavern, John. Anything I can do for you there, just let me know.
Chase. Bartlett.
It's the use, John, to go tomorrow morning. There's less than a full day left.
Roger.
Face facts, John. It's finished.
Sorry, John.
Well, that settles it, John. Slavery clause has got to go.
Franklin, what are you saying?
It's a luxury we can't afford.
A luxury. 500,000 souls in chains. And Dr. Franklin calls it a luxury. Perhaps you should have walked out with the South.
You forget yourself, sir. I founded the first anti-slavery society on this continent.
Oh, don't wave your credentials at me. Perhaps it's time you renewed them.
The issue here is independence. Perhaps you have forgotten that, but I have not. How dare you jeopardize what we have brought this far? These men, even if we disagree with them, are not ribbon clerks to be ordered about. They are proud, accomplished men, the cream of their colonies. And they and the people they represent are going to be a part of the country that you want to help start. Now you had better learn that or pack up and go home. Oh, in any case, John, stop acting like a Boston fishwife.
What's happened? John Adams, the great John Adams, wise man of the East. What did I come to? My law practice down the pipes, my farm mortgage to the hilt. At a stage in life when other men prosper, I'm reduced to living in Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Oh, Abby, what am I going to do?
Do, John.
I need your help.
You don't usually ask for my advice.
Yes, well, there doesn't appear to be anyone else right now.
Farewell, John. What is it?
The entire South has just walked out of this Congress. General Washington is on the verge of total annihilation. The precious cause for which I believed in these several years has come to nothing. And it seems I'm obnoxious at this life.
Nonsense, John.
That I'm unwilling to face reality.
Foolishness, John.
That I am pig-headed.
Oh, well, there you have it, John. I'm afraid you are a pighead.
Well, yes. Has it been any kind of a life for you, Abby? Lord knows I haven't given you much.
I've never asked for more. After all, I am Mrs. John Adams. That's quite a lot for one lifetime.
Is it, Abby?
Think of it it, John? To be married to the man who's always the first in line. To be hanged.
Yes, the agitator. Why, I must tell you what it is. I've always been dissatisfied, I know that. But lately, I feel as if I reek discontentment. It fills my brain and floods my soul. And sometimes I fear that there is no longer a dream, but only the discontentment.
Oh, John. Can you really know so little about yourself? And can you think so little of me that you believe I've married the man you just described? Have you forgotten what you used to say to me, John? I have commitment. Commitment. There are only two creatures of any value on the face of this earth. Commitment, and those who require the commitment of others. Do you remember, John?
I remember.
Mr. Adams!
What?
These are for you!
Just a minute. What are they? What's in them? Who sent them?
Compliments of the Concord Ladies' Coffee Club. I'm a sisterhood of the True Synagogue. I'm Friday evening Baptist sewing circle. The Holy Christian Sisters of St. Clair.
Just a moment, Abigail. What's in these kegs?
Salt Peter, John.
I want you to walk by up every damn pin in Philadelphia.
What sort of pen?
I don't know, whatever ladies use with their sewing. And take these cakes to the armory now. Hurry! Well, what are you two just sitting around for?
John, did you hear a word I said earlier?
Oh, never mind that. Here's what I want you to do. I want you
John, I'm not even speaking to you.
It's too late for that, damn it. There's work to be done. Time's running out. Get up, get out of your chair. Tomorrow is here. Too late to despair. Jefferson, talk to Hopkins, talk. If it takes all night, talking, talk and talk and talk. You're both Southerners and perhaps gentlemen. You'll listen to anybody who'll listen to you. Franklin, time's running out.
I know. Get out of my chair. Do I have to talk to us?
Yes, you do. If it takes all night, talking, talk and talk and talk. Get away from Dickinson. That's the only way to do it.
I'm still from Massachusetts, John. You know where I stand. I'll do whatever you say.
No. You're the president of Congress. You're a fair man. Stay there. Tell me, Mr. Thompson, out of curiosity, do you stand with Mr. Dickinson? Do you stand with me?
I stand with the general.
say.
Well, good night, then.
Good night. Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Does anybody see what I see? They want me to quit. They say, John, give up the fight. Still to England I say, good night, forever good night. For I have crossed the Rubicon, make the bridge be cut, behind me come. One may, come one may, coming on. The trumpets all sing through the day. They'll be held to pay in fiery purgatory. Through all the gloom, through all the gloom, I can see the rays of gravity, light and glory. Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Does anybody see what I see? I see fireworks. I see the pageant and pomp and parade. I hear the bells ring out. I hear the cannons roar. I see Americans, all Americans, free forevermore. How quiet the chamber is. How silent the chamber is. Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Does anybody see what I see?
Yes, Mr. Adams.
Tom, I didn't know that anyone.
I'm sorry if I startled you. I couldn't sleep. In trying to resolve my dilemma, I remembered something I'd once read. That a representative owes to people not only his industry, but his judgment. And he betrays me to sacrifice their. It was written by Edmund Burke. I'm not going to read the book.
Very well. Congress will now vote for Virginia's resolution of independence. Thank you for coming, Caesar. God bless you, sir. Call the roll, Mr. Thompson.
The
each of you gentlemen. A single nay vote will defeat this motion. Very well, Mr. Thompson.
New Hampshire. New Hampshire says yea. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts says yea.
Massachusetts says yea. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island says yea.
Rhode Island says yea. Connecticut.
Connecticut says yea.
Connecticut says yea. New York.
New York abstains, courteously.
New York abstains.
Courteously.
New Jersey. New Jersey says yea. New Jersey says yea. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
I'm sorry, we're not ready yet. Would you come back to us, please?
Very well. Pennsylvania passes. Delaware.
Delaware, by majority votes, aye says yea.
Delaware says yea.
Well done, sir.
Maryland.
Maryland says yea.
Maryland says yea. Virginia.
Virginia says yea.
Virginia says yea. North Carolina.
North Carolina yields to South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Well, Mr. Adams?
Well, Mr. Rutledge.
Mr. Adams, you must believe I will do what I have promised to do.
What is it you want, Rutledge?
Remove the offending passage from your declaration.
If we did that, we would be guilty of what we ourselves are rebelling against.
Nevertheless, remove it, or South Carolina will bury now and forever your dream of independence.
John, I beg you to consider what you're doing.
Mark me, friend. If we give in on this issue, posterity will never forgive us.
Perhaps they won't, John, but we won't hear a thing. We'll be long gone. And what will posterity think we were? Demigods? We're men, John. No more and no less. Trying to get a nation started against greater odds than a more generous God would have allowed. First things first, John. America. Independence. For if we don't secure that, what else matters?
Jefferson say something.
What else is there to do?
Well, man, you're the one who wrote it.
I wrote all of it, Mr. Adams.
There it is. You've got your slavery, a little good man to you. Now, vote, you damn.
Mr. Secretary, fair colony of South Carolina says yea.
South Carolina says yea.
North Carolina says yea.
North Carolina says yea. Georgia.
Georgia says yea.
Georgia says yea. Pennsylvania. Second call.
Mr. President, Pennsylvania regrets all of the inconvenience that such distinguished gentlemen as Adams, Franklin, and Jefferson were put to just now. They might have kept their document intact for all the difference it will make. Mr. President, Pennsylvania...
Just a moment. I ask that the delegation be polled.
Dr. Franklin, don't be observed.
A poll, Mr. President. It's a proper request.
Yes, it is. Mr. Thompson, you will hold this delegation.
Very well. Dr. Benjamin Franklin.
Yay. and birth, all at your say-so. Your answer, please. Every map maker in the world is awaiting your decision.
Come now, James. Nothing has changed. Don't let Dr. Franklin create one of his confusions. The question is clear.
Most questions are clear when someone else has to decide them.
It would be a pity for a man who's handed down hundreds of wise decisions from the bench to be remembered only for the one unwise decision that he made in Congress.
James, you're keeping everybody waiting. The secretary has called for your vote.
Please, John, I know what you want me to do. But Mr. Adams is correct about one thing. I'm the one who will be remembered for it.
What do you mean?
I'm not like you, John. I'm not like most of the men here. I simply don't want to be remembered. I don't want the responsibility.
Yes, well, whether you want it or not, there's no way of avoiding it.
Not necessarily. If I vote with them, I will only be one among many. No one will ever remember the name James Wilson. However, if I vote with you, I will be the one who prevents American independence. I'm sorry, John. I didn't bargain for that.
And is that the way new nations are born? By an entity trying to protect the anonymity he so richly deserves?
Mr. Wilkinson, most revolutions are brought into this world like bastard children, half improvised and half compromised. Our side has provided the compromise. Judge Wilson is just providing the rest.
James.
I'm sorry, John. My vote is yay.
Pennsylvania says yay. And by a vote of 12 to 9 with one abstention, Virginia's resolution on independence is adopted.
It's done. It's done.
Very well, Mr. Thompson, is the declaration ready to be signed?
It is.
Then I suggest that we do so. And the chair further proposes, for our mutual protection and security, that no gentleman be permitted to sit in on this Congress unless he attaches his name to this document.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. I cannot in good conscience sign such a document. I will never stop hoping for our eventual reconciliation with England. But because I hold America in no less regard than does Mr. Adams, I will join the Army and fight in her defense, although I believe that fight to be hopeless. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Gentlemen of the Congress, I say to you, John Dickinson.
Gentlemen, are there any objections to the declaration being approved as it now stands?
I have one, Mr. President.
You, Mr. Adams.
Yes. Mr. Jefferson, it so happens the word is unalienable, not inalienable.
Mr. Adams, inalienable is correct.
I happen to be a Harvard graduate, Mr. Jefferson.
And I attended William and Mary, sir.
Gentlemen, please. Mr. Jefferson, will you yield to Mr. Adams' request?
No, sir. I will not.
Oh, very well. I withdraw the question.
Very good, John.
I'll speak to the printers about it later.
Very well, gentlemen. We are about to enter the storm on a skiff made of paper. And God only knows how it shall end.
That's a pretty large signature there, Johnny.
That's so fat George in England can read it without bothering to put his glasses. Well, step right up, gentlemen. You don't want to miss your chance to commit treason.
Mr. Hancock's right, though. This paper could be our ticket to the gallows. But there's no backing out now. For if we don't hang together, we shall most assuredly hang separately.
In my case, hanging won't be so bad. One snap, it'll be over. Just like that. But look at me then. the Chief long after I'm gone!
Gentlemen, you'll excuse me if I do not join in the merriment. But if they were to arrest us right now, my name is still the only one on the damn thing.
From the Commander, Army of the United States. In New York, dispatch number 1209 to the Honorable Congress John Hancock, President, dear sir. I can now report with some certainty that the eve of battle in New York is near at hand. For this end, I have directed the evacuation of Manhattan and directed our defenses to take up stronger positions on the Brooklyn Heights. At the present time, my forces consist entirely of Hazlitt Silver militia and Smallwood's Marylanders, a total of 5,000 troops to stand against 25,000 of the enemy. And I begin to notice that many of them are lads under 15 and old men, none of whom could truly be called soldiers. One personal note to Mr. Lewis Morris of New York. I must regretfully report that his estates have been totally destroyed, but that I have taken the liberty of transporting Mrs. Morris and 8 of the children to Connecticut in safety. The 4 older boys are now enlisted in the Continental Army. As I write these words, the enemy is plainly in sight beyond the river. How it will end, only Providence can direct. But dear God, what brave men I shall lose before this business ends. Your obedient, G. Washington.
Very well, gentlemen.
Mr. McNair,
Yes.
go ring the bell.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Mr. Morris.
to hell with New York. I'll sign it anyway.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson. Well, Stephen, sit down.
No, I want to see each man's face as he signs them.
Go, Mr. Thompson.
New Hampshire.
Dr. Josiah Bartlett. Massachusetts, Mr. John Adams. Rhode Island, Mr. Stephen Hopkins.